Oh, welcome back, my gardening friends. Well, it's certainly getting cooler, and it's 8:10 on Sunday the 20th. My videos are probably running a week behind, but it's just to let you know what I'm up to, and I'm going to show you how I sort myself out over 4 hours on the allotment. I haven't been since you saw my last video when we did the leaf mould. I managed to get a fire on that afternoon, but everything's so wet again, and I need to empty the leaf mould bin so I can access the pallets to see which ones are rotten, so I can get all those burned and out the way so we can start doing a few other jobs. But it's just all about time management, do little bits of everything just so that it doesn't get boring. I managed to finish all the DIY jobs off yesterday and didn't really get a chance to come up here other than fetch 2 bags of leaves. And I like to get a few leaves, say in the morning, and a few in the afternoon at the weekends, as and when I can, so it doesn't get too exhausting, just keeps that body fresh. On today's tasks, I'll be using the Think Green recycle bottles gloves from Cool Job, and also the waterproof gloves from Cool Job on the different tasks. And watch out for my next video, there's going to be another raffle flutter draw, and to follow that, the world famous raffle flutter draw. Because it's getting so cold, my friends at Cool Job have sent me some winter gloves for me to review, so I'll be doing that in my next video. It'll be today, but you'll see it a little bit later on, so I hope you enjoy that. The links for Cool Job are down in the description below. Just press more and then more again when the thing comes up, and then my whole list of everything, where my email is, my PayPal account, etc., if you need to get in touch or you'd like to buy me a coffee. So my first job, you see there's the remains of the fire. I'm not going to disturb it too much because there's lots of nails there. I need to hand pick that and get everything out, so I'll move this out the way. I'll get this little area here all dug over now, and that'll be one of the first jobs of today, and I'll keep you up to date with the times, and we'll look to finish it just after 12 o'clock. So that's that little area done. I found a few perennial weeds. Perennial weeds are like the nettles, dandelions, and some of the wildflowers. They put out runners and they come back every year. A pain in the butt if you don't get them out early enough. So these will now go into the perennial weed bin. There's a few in there from off there. I don't mind leaving a bit of soil on, because at the end of the day we'll be using all this material in the future. I need to add more water to this because we end up drowning the perennial weeds. 24 minutes past 8, and I've got these 2 recycled scaffold planks. They're rotten. I didn't pick it up initially, but then I suddenly realised I needed a retaining wall for the wildflower area. I've got all my bulbs in there, so I need that to retain, and then I can attach that little fence to it. So let's get on with that. I've just run my eye through there and it's a little bit low in the middle. Some old pieces of wood from a previous project that we dismantled. I'll knock them in with a sledgehammer. I'm going to be using some of the screws that we removed from the leaf mould bin when dismantling that. I'll now attach these bits of old pallet board just to make it look aesthetically pleasing to the eye. Another little job done. That looks better. So we can now drop some soil into the back, and I'm going to plant all my snowdrops along here. Some of them have started to go rotten. A few tips: If you want your wood to last longer, cut the wood at an angle, and if your screws are too long for the test, pop them in at an angle. The bigger the angle, the shorter they go in, and it just saves you catching your fingers on the opposite side. It's now 9 o'clock. Spot the robin. I've left this a little bit late, but hopefully they won't rot, and to help that I'll plant in pretty well all the bulbs, even the very, very small ones. Nature will always find a way. We'll see what that bucket comes out with later on in the spring. Certainly going to be looking forward to spring now. I'll be able to control that a lot easier than all this area here. There's going to be some very, very happy bugs and wildlife this year, this winter. So before I sort this out, I need to sort out the comfrey. Some of my regulars, please remember comfrey. You'll need that answer in a future video. It's 9:35. Time for a brew. It's 10 to 10, and many thanks to those people who kindly sent me some pennies via my PayPal to get me a coffee. Really nice on a cold morning. You can see that white line there, that's another one of those buried deep to stop this escaping. The wood's rotten, nothing wrong with the decking screws though, a little bit rusty, still workable. More recycled wood. That one there, I'm knocking it at an angle because the old post is down there, we can't get it out, it's attached to that bottom one, so I'm just going to angle them just to hold it all together. Because my big feet, I keep treading on it, don't I? Naughty, naughty. How to knock a post in with a sledgehammer properly. Not like that, just like that. One of my cannabis compost finds. It's about 60 litres there, so I've saved myself £5. And I've removed the plastic from the environment so nature doesn't get in the way and die from it. Why do I use it? Because I want to. And it looks pleasing to the eye. So it's now 10 past 10. Got a little bit of a sweat on. I'm going to have even more of one when I've moved all that over to here. So that's why I've got the comfrey bed. Remember, comfrey plant. You might need that in the next video. Basically, it's identifying what comfrey is. We're not cheating, are we, my regular viewers and subscribers? So I'll get this sorted. As you can see, it's a wet, danky, horrible mess. But somebody's got to do it. And there we have the roots from a holly tree. Not many berries, this year. There's a little clump there, and then there's a clump there of yellow ones, and then on my next plot hole there's a few. Are we going to have a mild, wet, horrible winter? A little bit of pause and record again. I don't edit, so you see what you see and what you get with me. And the Think Green recycled gloves, they're a little bit damp now, so we're going to move on to the waterproof Cool Job latex gloves. Got wonderful grip, and I'm really impressed. Really looking forward to seeing their winter collection and trying them out. My body is now saying stop. So we've had half an hour. I'll just have a look, show you around, but whether you can pick it up, I feel like I'm steaming. Yeah, let's have a little look, and I'll show you how the 12-month-old leaves that we collected last autumn are breaking down. I'm collecting the bits and bobs of rubbish. There's a poo bag down there. Hopefully it didn't have the poo in it, but people pick it up and then leave the bags behind. But some of this, where it hasn't got wet enough, is still not breaking down. And I've noticed that we're in the middle where it's been compacted. Don't forget there's 25 of these 1-ton builder's bags gone into that leaf mould bin. But the outside has broke up nicely, and one of my viewers left me a message, comment, and said, how many times do you turn it? Well, basically twice, well, once, when it goes from here into that bin there that we've taken down. But looking at this, it may pay me to turn it. There's a massive pile there, guys. How's that going to go into a single pallet bin? Oh my lordy lord. You know when sometimes you start something and wish you hadn't. But we've got to change this. We've got to get a roof on it. We've got to collect more rainwater. So this will be saved for another day. Probably next weekend. So another little job that I've got to get done. There's a fellow plot holder wants a pipe. He's going to put a burner down there to melt the plastic so he can pot his plants up. So I'm going to cut it off around about there so that it saves him cutting the plastic, and he'll burn it, stop it fraying. I'll do that little job. He's been waiting 2 months. There you go, Brian. I've even made you a handle. Hope that's big enough. Not the handle, but the actual circle, the hole, the pipe, the tube. Well, we've moved over to plot 3, and doesn't that look pretty? Well, not for much longer. We need to get that down, prepare the bed, and ensure that the asparagus gets a little feed and a mulch, and we need to get the underground worm farms fed. Struggle to get at them when the asparagus is in full height. It's just before 11 o'clock. So I'm just wrapping the string up, rope up, and basically you need to go like this, like that. So that it doesn't all fall off. The amount of times the wife's knitting when she's wound it back up again and she ends up in a muddle, but that's a good way of just ensuring it doesn't come off. Time for a brew. Cheers everyone. I'm doing this a little bit early. Sorry, I'm just trying to stop the wind noise. A little bit early, but You cut yours down when you feel it's ready. Yes guys, I've still got my allotment chair. I'm just going to tickle the top, get rid of some of these, get these into the compost bin. Then we can start layering these up. These have sunk quite a lot now. There's quite a few seeds from the asparagus drop down. We'll let nature sort itself out. But if you want to see how I built this little chair, it's ideal because I can keep moving along my raised beds, especially when we're a few hours in. I'll crack on with this. So these are underground worm farms. Basically we put our little compost vegetable mixes. That's in my playlist, homemade liquid plant foods, compost mixes, activators, etc. I'll put that on the end screen. We empty that out and we spread that out over the bed. These are well rotted now, so I have got a replacement. As you can see, the asparagus roots have been enjoying that. I just need to pop a bit of compost over there so that just drop that down before we put some of my mix in. And here we normally have a piece that is a circular piece of cardboard. As you can see now, it's rotted away, and that's what we use to hold it all together, so I could pull it out and actually bring the material out. I do this every year, but I religiously need to top them up more often, especially before they start to go to seed. But if you Google underground worm farms, Google has got my video there for you to watch. I haven't got any horse poo. It's been far too wet to go and collect any, and while I was tidying up I found a little bit of this Grow Organic similar to 6X, and I'll just add a few chicken manure pellets before we start topping the beds off. So it's 25 minutes past 11. We're cracking on, really doing a good job. These are the leaf mould that we collected in 2020 that we've recently put through the trommel. I think I've got 4 containers full, so we'll see how far it goes. So I've just tickled that in, trying not to disturb the upright bits of the asparagus plant. Now I'm going to add some of the found cannabis compost that they unscrupulously tip, fly tip, etc. and dump. It's really lovely stuff. You can't blame me for picking it up. Now let's just top it off with cardboard to protect them over the winter months. Well, it's surprising what you can get done. I hope you've enjoyed joining me for just under 4 hours. It's just before 12 o'clock. After 12 we can light the old rocket stove, which I will be doing, and that'll be another video. But getting things done, time management, setting yourself tasks, don't overdo it, and enjoy it. We're here to enjoy the gardening, and I garden throughout the year. I don't just stop when some of the vegetables stop harvesting, but it's just a case of going out there, titivating, tickling, keeping out to Mrs. K's hair, giving her a bit of peace and quiet, making sure she's happy, DIY is done, and well, all I can say is happy gardening to you all. But don't forget the thumbs up or thumbs down for the interaction. Leave me a comment, and why not consider subscribing and see what I get up to throughout the winter months. Take care, my friends. Happy gardening. Till next time. Time for a brew. Don't forget those end screens. Some of my playlists.